I'm just so excited. I just passed my German B1 exam. Yeah, here's the result. Good to see. So basically 6 months ago, I didn't even know how to use Genau or Beta properly. And in today's video, I will share 3 game-changing tips that really helped me through this journey. And plus, I will share some free apps and tools that save me really hundreds of hours. Hallo zusammen, ich bin Charlene. Ich wohne seit 3 Jahren in der Schweiz. Hello, I'm Charlene. I'm an investment coach in Switzerland with 10 years of banking experience. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss any of my tips on money. And now, German learning. And first of all, I will share a little bit about my German learning journey, and it might change the way you think about learning German. I moved to Switzerland from Hong Kong in 2022. In my first 2 years here in Switzerland, I work in I would say, quite a demanding corporate job in the banking/technology sector. The working language was pure English. I thought I would never have the need to learn German. So actually a turning point for me, or I would say everything changed after I quit my corporate job to start my own investment coaching business in late 2023. And I still remember in May 2024, that's when I got really serious about German learning. I joined and took an intensive course. So basically 2 hours per day, Monday to Friday, every day 2 hours for 4 weeks. And this was really a game changer for me. Let me tell you, I just felt completely different. I'm not here to exaggerate things, but intensive courses are super powerful. In just 4 weeks, that means I study how many hours? Like two hours per day, 5 days per week for 4 weeks. So that is 40 hours, right? Yeah, so that is way more effective than I would say previous 100 plus hours that I spent, for example, watching YouTube videos or doing some other online lessons here 1 week and then another lesson next week, for example, like this. So when I took the placement test in May 2024, they said I'm just like A1. So they suggest me I start with A1 and in school, but actually I was asking them, can I start with A2 instead? Because I'd already self-learned a little bit like back then, like I just mentioned, I could say Mitkata Bitte, I could say VGSD, so, how are you? So I really wanted to push myself. And now when I look back, I would say skipping some levels or sub-levels for A1 was a really good decision. And the 4-week intensive course, I would say it really make a huge difference. I cannot stress that enough. Intensive course, okay? Learning with other students, going to class every single day, it really helped me learn so much faster. And thanks to that, the reality is I'm my own boss, right? I don't have any boss that I have to report to, so I could adjust my schedule to attend intensive course. And I can totally understand, imagine if I have a 9 to 5 job and it may not happen that, especially when, those kind of intensive courses, usually they're in the morning from 9 to 11, for example, right? So basically every day in the morning. So this, I would say, concludes my first tip: attend an intensive course if you can. 40 hours in an intensive course are just way more effective than spreading the same 40 hours over a longer period. Okay, friends, before we move on, I just wanted to say, if so far you found this video helpful, all I ask is that you can like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos like this. And after my first 4-week intensive course, I took a break. So to be really honest, I really didn't have enough time to study German every day for, many months, for example. So imagine this: 2 hours of class daily and plus 1 hour commuting, right, by train. And then sometimes another 1 hour, for example, for homework. So basically, if you added them up, it's like 4 hours per day. And of course, I also had to work. So even though I can control my schedule as my own boss, I still have a lot going on my plate. Honestly, I just feel like, to be really honest, seriously, after I quit my corporate job, I feel a lot busier than before. So I work definitely, if you count on hours, I definitely work more hours than before. And the second thing that I wanted to say that really helped me is I created pressure for myself. And some people may think it's so insane when I told them about this, but I really love it. So in October last year, I signed up for a German exam in December. So I took the exam on 18th of December last year. And having a paid exam with a set date, it really gave me strong motivation. I knew I had to focus. This method worked just so well for me. And I'm like this kind of person, for example, if I don't pay and I don't have a set date in mind, I'd probably just say, I still have time. Let me study tomorrow instead. And, this kind of procrastination, I believe many of us may have just like a certain level of it, right? Back then, I had a very clear goal. Past the B1 level, German B1. I took the FinFit test. If you could see this paper. So basically, FinFit test, people say it's actually easier than Goethe or than TELC exam. So I will explain the FinFit exam in another video if you are interested. So you can leave a comment below this video. And in total, I did 2 intensive courses and each one 1 month. So one in May, actually, the one I just mentioned, my first one, and then another one in December, also in 2024. And the first one I took was A21, and the second one in September I took was B11. So I didn't do A22 and A23. And you may know that each level, like A1, A2, B1, B2, they have 3 sub-levels, like A21, A22, A23, and so on and so forth, right? So I basically skipped 2 levels and jumped straight to B1. So at first, the school didn't allow me to skip levels, but I just wanted to save time, and I really wanted to challenge myself, to be really honest. I convinced them that I've already self-studying the material, and I've already been working with some online teachers. That's my excuse. And in the end, they agreed. So now let's come back to the game-changing topic. If the first game-changing thing for me was taking an intensive course, the second game-changing thing for me was signing up for an exam early to create the pressure for you. One funny thing that I noticed, especially a few weeks before the exam, I became a little bit obsessed with learning German. So my biggest problem or fear back then, or even today, was my listening. My biggest fear, I would actually, during the exam, I was thinking during the speaking exam, the examiner or the teacher would ask me a question, and then I wouldn't understand. And then I have to ask them to repeat, and then they repeat again, and then I still just don't understand. It was really my biggest fear. So I really tried my best to immerse myself in German listening. So I found a podcast on Spotify. The name is Slow German Podcast. It was super, super helpful. And as the name suggests, they speak very slow German. It's like, wie viel Quadratmeter hat deine Wohnung, like this kind of speed. So which make it really easy for me to follow. And I listen to it everywhere, even today, like on the way to school, heading to meetings, while cooking, and even walking outside when I was taking a walk outside. So I listen to the same episode again and over again. Yeah, by the way, I will put the link of the podcast in the video description area. So as well as some other useful resources and apps. So you can find them all in the video description area. And sometimes on the tram to a meeting, for example, when I dress or properly, I'd hear something like around my ears, I said, wie viel Quadratmeter hat deine Wohnung? And I couldn't help. And sometimes, I repeat it out loud, maybe with the podcast. And people around me, I think they may think I'm just like a really weird person, like a Asian woman, in her dress and saying something like slow, but like it's just like so weird, right? But I would say I don't care. And another tool I used a lot was Preply. It is an online platform where you can find just different freelance teachers for German, French, Italian, Chinese, anything you name it. Actually, you can book trial lessons based on your schedule and preferences. And now I book a 30 minutes lesson every single day from Monday to Friday at 7:30 a.m. So basically, my teachers are my alarm clock every single day at 7:30. And now it really turned into a habit, 30 minutes of German practice, no matter what, Monday to Friday. And yes, sometimes I would say I even speak German to myself in the shower, for example. And I know I felt a little bit crazy, but it really helped. And as you may know, in Switzerland, people speak Swiss German, right? It's a whole different level. And that's why I think you really need to create your own German speaking environment. And sometimes that even means you're talking to yourself. And one last tip I have is to make sentences and repeat them. I really love taking notes, and every day I set a goal to learn 10 new sentences, and I will memorize them and repeat them often. And I will also share a link to my notes in the description area of this video. It's actually an Excel that I made, and you don't have to copy my method exactly, but I really hope you can get some inspiration, give you some ideas. So I would say at the end of the day, learning German is all about small daily habits. And for me, intensive courses and a little bit of exam pressure, it really made a huge difference for me. And can you let me know what tips that work best for you? And if you have any question, feel free to ask. I'd love to help. My goal for 2025 is to pass the German B2 exam. So I will be sharing my journey right here on this YouTube channel. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And good luck with your German learning, and I will see you soon.